it's feeding your soul. And go tell somebody if it makes you feel whole. Then go tell somebody. Makes you hot when you're cold. Then go tell somebody. It's judgment time. It's if you like what you hear, then go tell somebody. If you like what you hear, then go tell somebody. If you like what you hear, then go tell somebody. Oh, Lord, go tell somebody. Yeah, go tell someone. Go tell somebody. Go tell somebody.
All right. Yeah, that was King's X with Go Tell Somebody. And that's what we're all about here at Breaking Metal. And we've got somebody I'm going to tell you guys about. We've got our boys from Oblivion Myth in the house. How about it, guys?
All right.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, we got Keith and Tim here. Yeah, you guys just got through checking out your show the other day and had the privilege of seeing that and recording it for Breaking Metal TV. How about that?
We'd love to see it.
Yeah, because we haven't even
Y'all
seen the
would.
footage yet, but yeah.
Yeah, it's
It was a fun show.
yeah, it was a fun show, man. It was a great lineup too. It was a lot of fun.
Raised
had,
raised a lot of money for Vanderbilt, the Monroe Carroll Jr. Hospital.
Yeah, had
Yeah.
the Barbie Conspiracy, Vampire Bleach Bomb, and War All the Time, and Oblivion Myth. Apparently the first 4 bands to ever do a benefit for Vanderbilt Children's Hospital.
How cool is that, guys?
It was very cool.
I was honored.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've raised $800.
Oh,
From
really?
From what I heard that night,
Yeah.
800. That's what the check.
Nice.
Yeah, after paying after paying the fees or whatever you
Yeah.
had to do to do the show.
The usual stuff, yeah.
But yeah, and did a big picture with everybody on stage. The picture's online, and so the photo with the money is being given to them. So
Is that
That's
one of
awesome.
the big checks that like you get from Publishers Clearinghouse? Or
Well,
whatever? Is it one
they
of
had
the
a
big
giant
ones?
banner. I didn't see a giant check, but
yeah,
hopefully it'll be
Yeah.
big
You
enough
ever
to
see
be
that
impressive.
video online where the guy's like trying to cash that thing going all over the place?
right.
Yeah, they never
It's
show
it's
you
like
when you
6
take it
by
to the
8
bank.
foot check and they can't get it nowhere.
But it's nice to know, that when they do receive the check, that they've got a picture. It's like the people that were involved with it. So
Yeah, that's good, man. I love doing those charity shows like that, especially when you know it's going to help out a lot. So
That's
Good job,
something,
guys.
yeah, it's near and dear to our heart. I mean, we've
Yeah.
make no bones about it. We proclaim it on stage. We're a Christian band, so charity is really everything that we are, and we're always down for a charity event.
hey, man, I really appreciate
right.
it too. Hey, you guys have a new CD coming out, don't you?
We do.
yes,
Inside the Mirror.
I tell you what, you guys played a lot from that CD live the other day, didn't you?
Played half of it.
Yeah,
played half
First
of
half.
it. Well,
Yeah.
we did a quick 30-minute set,
yeah,
which was 6 songs, but
Mhm.
still, it was a quick 30 minutes.
yeah.
The album's about 65 minutes long.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah,
Full length.
It's
Yeah,
a big work, yeah.
I can't wait to play the rest of the songs. I know that when we have a CD release, album, I like to say album release, party show, whatever, we're gonna play the whole album, not from front to from beginning to end, but we're gonna mix up the songs from the track order in order for us to do it live. But we're gonna play every song from the album live, so it should be about a little over an hour set.
Yeah,
It's gonna be great.
yeah. I can't wait to see that.
The thing that I'm really excited about is that we have guest stars that have appeared on the CD with us. Kat Fritchman from a band called Level 77, Eric Smith from a band called Doc Sinister. They're two of the best rock singers in Nashville, and I immediately fell in love with their voices the first time I heard them. So they're handpicked, and we were really so honored to have them participating.
Yeah, I know Kat real well, and Eric. Yeah, both of those guys are
They're aces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric is pretty strong. He's always impressed me, and it doesn't show so much in the Doc Sinister work, but when he gets outside of that, you can really hear his range, and it's massive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what attracted me to his voice, is the sound of his voice. He's got a really good scratchy rock tenor kind of voice.
Yeah. So did you happen to bring a song from your new album?
Yes,
We did?
Yes, we did.
Would you like to world premiere it for us?
I would be more than honored, actually.
Yeah, this is the first sneak peek to the album officially.
Officially. I love that.
Officially.
Yeah. So what is it that we're going to hear from you guys?
This is Sea of Tranquility, and it's going to end up being the third track on this disc. And this song is kind of a bit of sci-fi, a little bit of space metal about being a galactic bounty hunter, and you're tracking down an alien who's trying to unleash some sort of cataclysm on the Earth, some kind of biological warfare type thing. And, the Sea of Tranquility was the lunar base that Apollo 11 established when they landed on the moon. So we have a little bit of NASA chatter here and there on the album, and that's where the battle in this song takes place, is on the Sea of Tranquility.
Well, let's stop yakking and start listening. How about that?
That's rocket.
Little Sea of Tranquility from my friends Oblivion Myth.
Basking in the afterglow of a heart-renowned tree. My mission well and truly done. My duty for the city. Like time on
Hey, I noticed you guys recorded this out at a little studio called Audiotopia. You tracked it out there with Curtis. He's a really good friend of mine, man. Tell us about that experience out there.
Yeah, I'd actually been in a band briefly with Curtis like 10, 12 years ago, around 2005 and 6. So I knew that he was a very talented musician, really good guitar player.
Oh,
And,
insanely good. Like, he doesn't even play like that anymore. Like, he's like Uli John Roth good, but he doesn't play like that.
Well, the song we just played, that was Curtis playing the guitar solo, so I think he cuts loose when we tell him to.
I've been trying to get him to jam like that forever. All he wanted to do was cover Partridge Family tunes in the style of Slayer.
Hey man, do not diss the Partridge Family, man. We all know they want to.
No,
That's
we
funny.
wanted to do it, but you know,
Come on, get happy.
right?
But yeah, it was a great experience. With Curtis has a nice facility there. He's got just so much equipment around. It's like going inside the Jawa sand crawler. You just see piles of
Yeah,
equipment.
that's a good way to put it.
Star Wars reference. You're my new best friend, my brother.
Yeah. But he's great to work with. He's very skilled. He knows his equipment. He knows his software. He's brutally honest without being mean. You know,
Well,
just
he's
say
not
it,
mean now.
Do it again. Do it again.
He's mellowed out
He's
over
mellowed.
time. He used to be mean.
That's what he
'cause
told us.
mellowed, yeah.
I've only known him since like last summer.
He's originally from New Jersey, so he's that kind of guy. So, but I always likened him to like a wizard. He's old, he's cranky, but he knows his shit.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Don't ask him no questions how he does nothing, or you'll get that.
That's funny.
And then, bam, it's done. You know, and it's like, and you're sitting there like, hey, he's incredible, man. He's an incredible producer.
He was very helpful when I was in there tracking everything, and we would like ideas, and I would come up with some things, and I was kind of like building and coming up with the leads, the solo sections, and things like that, and he would tell me if it was cool or it stunk or whatever.
Yeah, he'll tell you the
And
truth
he,
right
and he
up.
gave me some ideas, and he didn't play the guitar for me. He didn't write what I was coming up with, but he gave me suggestions, and he was just real good feedback and good producer skills.
Good coach.
He was a good
Yeah.
coach. It was a good experience, and I felt very comfortable working there, and I was able to get in the zone, and wasn't very stressful at all. Except for I was stressing myself out, because I'm recording.
You tend to do that anyway. I know you.
Yeah, I do. It's just
You
the
get
way I am.
like hard drive fear like I do. It's like, I know this. As soon as I hit play, it's like, oh,
Oh
dang.
man, it's terrible.
again.
We're already working on songs to go in there to do a third album, and I'm pretty sure we're going to go back to Curtis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to. I mean,
Well,
we
the
can
quality
afford
on
him,
that
and
is
he's good to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
did
was-
some really good quality work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, and I've always said that out of all the producers or self-proclaimed producers or whatever here in Nashville, that there's really only a handful that know how metal works and how to capture it and how to lay it down, and he's one of those guys.
I can't tell you how many
I agree.
times I've heard a CD that it's a metal band. You got this great sound live and everything, and then when you put it in and you listen to the CD and you're going, pop producer, country producer.
country in this
yeah.
town, like the
Yeah.
vocals way out front, even though they don't need to be, you know?
And
Right.
So to get somebody that really understands it like Curtis does, that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
Curtis was the recording engineer in this case. He did just a little
he
bit
did
of
mix
mixing, but actually our producer and the final mix and master is Andy Freeman, who was the original singer in Oblivion Myth on the first CD.
So he's in Florida, right?
Yeah, he lives in
Yeah.
Florida now.
Ocala, Florida. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. So we tracked everything from the end of July to the end of November, pretty much weekends.
On weekends, yeah.
We all
Yeah.
got day jobs, and so we do these things on the weekends and try to do as much as we can. But it was like 81 hours of tracking, and it's been in the mixing stage since Christmas.
Hundreds of hours of mixing.
Yeah, I know.
Hundreds of hours.
Keith and I have talked many times about, it's in the works, and you're telling me about everything that's going on, and I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to hear it. I've told you that since NAMM.
Yeah.
When I saw you at
Oh,
NAMM,
yeah, that was like last July.
Yeah.
We were just about to go in to record in about 2 or 3 weeks from the NAMM, Summer NAMM in Nashville in 2015.
Yeah.
And I said, we're tracking drums the last weekend of July.
Yeah, how about
and
that?
that was 2 days. So,
Yeah.
it's been a long road, but it's going to be worth it. You know, I've been waiting for this second album to come out for the past 8 years. We originally recorded Between Light and Shadow, the album, the first album debut, had Patrick Nickel on drums, Chris Selby on guitar, Patrick White on bass, Andy Freeman on vocals and keyboards, and myself. And we recorded that album actually in 2006. It was just Patrick, Chris, and myself. And then we added Patrick in 2007, and then we added Andy in 2008. He joined the band as... He was the producer, but he joined in 2008 as the lead singer, and he added keyboards, added his voice, and that's the album that's been out there ever since. So it's 2008.
Wow,
It's
so
been
you guys
8
are
years.
due.
We've been recording and writing, and we've attempted to record this album many, many times with other people in the past. During the past 6 years, I think 2010, 11, and 12, we were trying to get this album recorded with the old lineup, but it just didn't happen. There's a reason for everything.
Yeah.
And we started working with Tim right when Ray LeGrand said he was going to be leaving the band.
Yeah.
So I immediately started working with Tim, and a month after Ray's last show, we had already been working with Tim for about 3 months, and then we made him official September of 14.
Yeah.
We started recording demos on GarageBand, and we worked on demos and worked with Bob. We didn't even have a bass player. You know, we had bass player. We had Patrick White for a little bit, but he ended up leaving the band. But you know, so we worked on those demos until it was time to record, which was last July.
Yeah.
Right after NAMM.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
It's been a long road.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been long overdue, and I've been very patient.
So now you have your baby. Yeah. So
Yeah.
So when are we expecting the release date on this?
Well, we got a new mix from Andy like yesterday, and we've got to digest that for a few days. And you know, honestly, we hope that it's done, and when it is done, we send it to the printers.
Right.
And you know, we got to plot a CD release party somewhere, and we think it's got to be up in Nashville because we love Main Street, we love playing down there, we love Murfreesboro, we love those people, but the sad reality is that there's a whole lot of people that won't go down to Murfreesboro. And you know,
they feel like they got to
why
pack a
have
lunch.
just
It's
one?
like 25 miles, and they feel like they got to pack a lunch to get there.
well,
Yeah.
you hear every excuse in the
Yeah.
world, and it is what it is, and we're going to have to work around that. Would love to do it at Main Street, would love to do it at that venue because it's a great place to play.
It is.
But I don't think that we can pull the biggest crowd, and I don't think we can get all the people that would come to Nashville.
Why not have more than one?
We could.
we could.
I guess I'd be a little hesitant of doing that because I've heard a couple of bands having more than one CD release, and I heard people kind of making fun of it. So
Well,
it's like yet another CD release.
Well,
party.
it's-
Well,
you
I
know.
think the people that are making fun of it don't really understand that, like, Nashville and Murfreesboro are not the same place. I mean, all the fans understand that. I don't understand why other bands don't understand that. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of touring bands come in and play Nashville and then play Murfreesboro right
Yeah.
after that.
It's
And
not
that's
the
just-
same crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I've been in that same crowd both nights, so yeah, I know. But hey, guys, you guys
Yeah.
just
You know
got
what?
through
Do it
playing
in two
this-
more towns, and that way you can have 4 of them. And the haters, you can tell them to, you know, what they can do with themselves.
Well, I'm
Anybody
from,
that-
I'm
anybody-
from Knoxville. I'd love to do one there.
There's definitely
Bada
a
bing.
Nashville crowd,
Knoxville.
and there's definitely a
any
Murfreesboro
booking
crowd.
agents that want to book these guys for a CD release party tour, we can do that, right?
That's right. That's right. Oblivion Myth at gmail.com.
Preferably in Europe. That would be a great place for us to do a CD release.
Yeah, that's it.
How much money you got?
Enough
you
for
guys-
a plane ticket and a passport.
There you go.
Yeah, you might want to eat while you're over there too.
Well, you guys
Divas
just got
don't
through
eat.
playing a show.
I'll bring boxes of like Pop-Tarts or something.
You guys just got through playing a show with one of our kind of new favorite bands. They're kind of a quirky little band. We like the Barbie Conspiracy.
Yes.
They were highly entertaining. So
Yes.
let's go back and take a listen to one of their songs. This is
Sure.
This is a song called Tinkerbell Design.
What's the point in working if I never see your face? Your picture sits on my desk and collects doesn't just burns into my brain of how I am failing to be who you need. I miss out on so much and I don't know anything. Everything's so it just won't go everything's so it just won't go you've grown out of old shoes, the memories they blur. You know I hate it when you won't let go. I promise I won't be long. And I miss you, but I miss the stage. Don't you get me wrong. Happy thoughts, band and bell don't play no more. Everything's so it just won't go everything's so it just won't go everything's so it just won't go everything's so it just won't go
Breaking Metal.
Hey, this is Tim McDonald from Oblivion Myth. We're in the studio today with Breaking Metal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Awesome. So that was the Barbie Conspiracy, a band we played with last week. Got a fresh young vocalist named Lexi.
Yeah, they were entertaining as hell, weren't they?
They were. They were.
Yes,
It was
they
like
were.
something I didn't expect, and
Yeah.
you know, with the lineup that you had, and then had those guys in there in front of them, and it was like I don't know, it was just like a fresh take. It was just something that
There was something for everybody.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, and enjoyable. I mean, the dude with the keyboard player,
The
had
keyboard, all
yeah.
lit up.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty bizarre.
Never seen that before.
No, that was his rave gear. It was awesome.
And I tell you what, I do know two of the musicians in the band, and they're both outstanding musicians in their own right. And to put in that kind of show was refreshing to see, because a lot of people take the show business out of it, and just, you know, I don't know how many times I've seen a band stand up there and looks like they just got off from work, and you know, not a lot of movement in there. But that's a part of the growing process that we have, and you can tell a seasoned band when they come up on stage, and that that was kind of cool. See you guys up there, especially with the new bass player Kevin Butler. We all know
Kevin is awesome.
He is the.
He's a great musician.
From one bass player to another, I think he is, and God, I don't want him to hear this, but I think he's one of the best bass players in the world.
Yeah,
We're very happy to have him in
the
the
end
band.
of it from that
He's-
guy.
I know, and
He's definitely one of the best
I'll
bass
probably
players in Nashville. That's for sure.
He's
I'll
probably already on Facebook.
I'll probably hear from Michael Johansson.
I think he
too.
is, yes.
But yeah, and your vocals are amazing, and I mean it was a good vocal
Thank
night
you.
that night. So having a female vocal up there was kind of refreshing too. I like seeing a good
That was their
female
second show, so they're
Yeah.
brand new to the scene.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
gonna be huge. I think. I'm looking forward to it, and I know I like female vocals. I know you like female vocals too.
I absolutely adore female vocalists in heavy metal, and there are some talents that a lot of the American people that like metal just haven't heard yet. The band Battle Beast from Finland has had two spectacular. I mean, we're talking real metal singers, not operatic, not thin voices, not girly voices.
Like
They throw down.
Evanescence and-
The
Yeah,
first singer,
Evanescence.
Nita Valo, was incredible. One of my favorite singers. She sounds like Janis Joplin, but singing metal. And then she had a baby, left the band, and they replaced her with a girl named Nora Luhimo. And Nora is a buzzsaw. She is just an absolute. She calls herself the war goddess, and I'm
That's
inclined to
appropriate.
agree. But it goes beyond that. Just discovered a band called Unleash the Archers. They're from Canada. And they have a girl named Brittany Slays, and she has incredible high range, and not operatic. I mean, like Ann Wilson, rock
Yeah.
high range that just
Love
stratospheres,
Ann.
man. She is an incredible singer. And I come up listening to Rob Halford and all that, so the whole falsetto high note thing is kind of second nature to me. It's a huge challenge to try and sing with the girls because they're naturally in that voice range. So it's a workout. So yeah, Battle Beast is really one of my favorite bands. They've been around since 2010. They have 3 CDs. Everybody needs to check them out.
Well, I tell you what, you just said everybody needs to check them out. So shall we force it down them?
Let's do it.
All right. And
This is Nora.
all right, and this is going to be Battle Beast. You're going to love this.
Oh yeah.
Me, I want what's coming to me.
Oh, well, what's coming to you, Tommy?
The world, Chico. And everything in it.
boy, Keith, that was for you, man. That's Symphony X, Sea of Lies.
Yeah, that song, I heard that on Rebel Radio 20 years ago in Chicago, and Scott Davidson played that, and that band and that song, they played an extra song. That was the second song off the Divine Wings of Tragedy, but I was also into Dream Theater at the time, and those bands helped me get through the 90s.
Yeah, there
Oh,
was
hey,
a
man.
lot to get through, wasn't it?
Yeah, because in the 80s, I was into thrash metal. I was with Megadeth when they came out with that first album, in 85, but I was already into Metallica and Exodus, and Exodus came out that year too, 85, and Slayer and everybody. Yeah. And then when we got into the 90s, Queensryche was still happening, but then all this grunge stuff started coming out. But then all of a sudden, there's Dream Theater. And then Symphony X. I was like, thank you, And then we got later on into, by the end of the 90s, and then all of a sudden there's like this mass explosion of like this
In Europe.
European
Opera metal.
Yeah. And
And it was great.
it's just like, thank you, and the European scene, metal scene, has been great, has been flourishing ever since then.
Yeah, that's the thing, to me. America put heavy metal, they nailed it into the coffin and sent it back to Europe about 1990. But there it arose in might. And we had bands like Halloween and Accept, and then Nightwish. And then Nightwish kicked off a whole decade of opera metal where you had bands like Camelot and Epica and Therion. It's insanely good bands with such deep talent. Camelot is probably my favorite band. Roy Khan is definitely my favorite singer.
Oh, yeah. See, I can see that. Yeah.
He's a demigod. And then he had, here's the terrible story is I had VIP tickets, meet and greet, airfare, hotel, rental car to see Camelot September 11th, and Roy Khan had a nervous breakdown 1 week before the show and quit the band.
No.
1 week before I was going to get to shake his hand
See,
and
that
say,
sounds
dude,
like my
you're
kind
my
of
idol.
luck. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like my kind of luck. Trust me. I've been in similar situations.
Yeah. But Keith, says Symphony X and Dream Theater got him through the 90s. For me, it was probably Halloween and Accept and Halford, his solo projects.
Yeah.
Fight, and then Nightwish and opera metal took off, and I never looked back.
Oh, yeah.
I really can't think of any American metal bands I like, except maybe Oblivion Myth.
During the 90s, I switched to punk rock, like obscure punk rock that nobody else heard of, but like maybe 5 people, like all the English punk rock and stuff like that. Because quite honestly, to me, metal got boring after like 92. So I just switched to punk rock. It was all pure attitude, and that's what later on reintroduced me to Slayer, because that's,
Yeah, well, then there's Slayer.
there's always Slayer.
All right. Well, cool, man. Well, I'll tell you what, these guys are, if you've never seen them, I highly recommend going seeing Oblivion Myth. And you want to tell them where they can find you guys online anywhere? Or?
Yes, ReverbNation.com/Oblivion Myth, YouTube.com/Oblivion Myth, Facebook.com/Oblivion Myth fan page.
I'm starting to
And
catch a
you
trend.
can go to Twitter.com/Oblivion Myth. If you Google search Oblivion Myth, you'll find us. We got several sites.
Yeah, you guys are like the king of media, I think. Yeah.
We try to do as much as we can.
The big thing is we're really hoping to see your video from the other night because, I'm new to the band. I've been in the band a little over a year and have a limited number of gigs and video and audio to share with me leading the way. And we're looking forward to seeing your video because it should be better quality than some of the cell phone stuff we've seen.
Right.
Most anything is cell phone. That's why we started the Roku thing and started the breaking metal thing in general, was because, you go through YouTube and you start seeing your favorite band and you look at them and you go, oh my God, that's shot with a cell phone. I've never heard them sound that bad in my life.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's disappointing. And there's no real, there's no real comparison to a live show, which is what we promote. We want you guys to go out to a live show, experience everything, especially these guys. If you haven't seen them, you've really missed out. And even though we do have video that we're going to put on the Breaking Metal TV, the experience of a live show can never be captured. There's the feel, the energy in the room that no one can ever reproduce. You know what I'm saying?
I really
Yes.
want to see the duets I did with Eric Smith and Cat Frichman. That's something I'm really looking forward to seeing. And I learned a valuable lesson. If you're going to do kind of a clasped hands pose, you really want it to be the other arm that
yeah, not
doesn't
the one
block
in
all the
front.
photographers. So I'll fix that next time.
Yeah, see, it's the little things in life, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. And you guys shared the bill with a great lineup, and that lineup was War All the Time. Have you seen them before?
That's first time for me.
I think
Yeah.
it's the first time for both of us.
They-
Pretty good musicians there, huh?
Oh, very good. Yeah, they were
Yeah, very
really
good.
more kind of funky blues than,
Yeah.
War All the Time. You think it's going to be a really
Well,
aggressive band. But
We
they were-
did a show with them. God, it's been 3 years ago, I guess, and they came out, and we were like, "Oh, War All the Time." I don't, that sounds like it ought to be, some brutal stuff. And we got in, and they started playing. I was like, "Hey, these cats are pretty good, but not what I expected."
Right. We've also got, War Within locally.
Yeah.
And they are a brutal band.
They are a brutal band.
yeah, they are.
We play them a lot here on Breaking Metal Radio. So
Yeah.
so let's give War All the Time a little love too, and we're gonna
Sure.
play a little War All the Time. This is called America.
I see the violence burning up the street, raging uncontained. The fear blows from sea to sea, cities are in flames. On my radio, the paranoia show. On my TV, war is reality. Well, for my eyes, take me can change.
All right, that was War All the Time with America, and we're still here with our friends Oblivion Myth. We've had a blast sitting here talking with you guys, and time is flying, isn't it?
I've enjoyed it very much.
Time
Yeah.
flies when having fun.
Yeah, and when you're talking about good music and good people, so and you guys have both in spades. I tell you, your entire band is just good people.
Yeah, the drummer Bob Schultz is
Killer.
the guy is buried treasure. He's one of
Yeah,
the
he is.
nicest people I've ever met. He's easy to get along with. He's easy to. And then Keith too. I've been in a lot of dysfunctional bands that went nowhere, and this is the most amazing band environment I've ever been in. You know, we don't have anybody who's an alcoholic. We don't have anybody who's beating their wife. We don't have anybody we have to bail out of jail. We don't have people that have no money to help the band, but they have a huge bag of weed. It's like we don't
That
have
is
those
amazing,
problems.
isn't it?
Yes, we don't have those problems. And honestly, I think that it's because we're a Christian band and we're centered and grounded in that, and it's God first, music second, and I think that helps.
Yeah, well, it definitely shows, man. You guys have got some of the best players in town and some of the greatest people. I love everybody in that band.
We love you too, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I met Bob August of 2011, and he wasn't quite sure he was like this was he couldn't play the music, or if it was the right step for him to go to, and but I didn't give up. I called him back just before Christmas at the end of 2011, and I said, are you playing with anybody right now? Or, what do you think about playing with us, So then we started working together since the beginning of 2012, and here we are 4 years later, and we've done some crazy fun stuff ever since then. A lot of shows and
At least 50 gigs, right? I mean,
at least in Indiana and Ohio and Kentucky and just all over to Illinois. We've hit it around, but there's so much more to do. When we met Bob, it was just down to just Ray LeGrand and myself, and it's like we've never really had a foundation with the band, and we both love Jesus, and we're gonna and we established a foundation with God, and we prayed about it, and God gave us Bob Schultz.
and now he gave us Kevin.
yeah.
And at the time, they, we also started with Randy Stepp on bass.
Yeah, I remember
And-
Randy well. He's a man. I love
And
Randy.
that was, and Randy was with us for a couple of years, and then Patrick White came back, but Bob's been with us for 4 years now, and now we're working with Kevin Butler on bass.
We need to take a moment here and talk about Ray LeGrand. He was the singer in the band before me, served with the band 3 years, 4 years. Ray is in New York. He's battling cancer. We think he's turned the corner. We pray that he's turned the corner. But if anybody out there pray for Ray LeGrand.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pray for his healing. He's a good man. He was always really nice to me.
I keep track on Ray every time he posts something, and I'm anxious to read, how
Yeah.
he's doing,
Yeah.
because he's such a good guy.
Yeah.
And Patty, I mean, my God, you couldn't meet two nicer people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that they were planning a ministry in Germany.
Right.
And I send what encouragement I can to him. I'm just one little blip on his radar, but that was one of my last messages to Ray was, you're going to be unbelievably mentally tough for your ministry in Germany.
Oh, you
for
got
your
that
missionary
right. Yeah.
work in Europe. And let's face it, Europe was pagan, and then it became Christian, and now there's a really strong swing back to paganism, especially in Scandinavia. So there's a lot of work, there's a lot of missionary work that needs to be done in Europe. People think, missionary, that's, for Africa, for El Salvador, for Third World. No, souls are everywhere.
That's right.
Yeah, there's probably one next door, just anywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and when the news came down with Ray and his issues there, I was in shock, and it took me a little while to get over that.
Yeah,
and
he's
just get
barely
used to
40
it.
years old.
Yeah, and last time I saw him, I gave him a big hug, and wished him well, and then you start reading stuff like that, and you go, oh my God,
Yeah.
and
He was here working with us for 4 years, and we accomplished a lot, and it was a lot of hard work, but it was rewarding and great memories, and I miss him dearly, and like I've always said to everybody who's ever been in this band, you're always going to be a brother, man.
Yeah.
And in this family of what we are. And Ray LeGrand came up with this catchphrase that it was more than just a catchphrase. We are metal, we are family.
Yeah.
And we still are.
I knew
and,
where you were going with that one. Yeah,
and we
I've heard it my whole
want to
life.
continue that, and we really pray for Ray to get some fast healing, quick healing, and get back there on stage and perform live with a band again. He was he is. I'm not gonna say was. He is. Ray LeGrand is a great front man, great vocalist, and he needs to get back out there.
I remember we did a show with you guys at Main Street, a few years ago, and Ray was the front man, and that was the first time I'd seen you play, and it was Ray and Randy, and I was sitting there just blown away at not just the way he played, but his offstage manner as well. When he came and talked to us, it was just like we'd known each other for decades. And that was kind of a
Ray.
cool thing, you know.
That's who
and
he
same
is.
way with Randy too. Randy was just like, oh my God, and we'd swap basses and played around with each other's bass and everything. You know how Randy is.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty cool experience. It's something I never forgot, and that's why I came to you guys, years later, and was still checking you guys out, and still being with you because you bought a fan right off the bat. And just the way that you'd build it, one fan at a time. And
Thank you.
I've always been a fan, and ever since that first moment.
That's really you talk about Ray and Randy are nice guys. Everybody that we meet is nice in this scene. It's so different than it was. I moved here in like '87. Young kid back when hair metal was peaking and all that was getting ready to change. Back then, that $1 million contract was still possible. That $100,000 advance was still possible. And the bands were really competitive and mean and cutthroat and bitchy. Part of it was, the makeup and the hairspray and all that. That gives you attitude. But
well, yeah, and you start breathing enough of that hairspray in, and then you just kind of I've been in some of those dressing rooms where you go, oh my God, nobody strike a match. It's
That's terrible.
It's rough, man. And it wasn't from that either. It was from the hairspray.
Right.
I think the fact that there's just really not much more money to be made in music now is what's made everybody calm down and chill out and concentrate on the friendships and the connections. And the scene is so cool now.
And how much fun is it to play with people now too? It's
I love it.
Every band you play with, I'm a gearhead. You can tell by looking around. I'm a gearhead, and I love good gear, and I love playing around with people and looking at what they're using and everything else. And everybody's free to share information and just it's more fun than ever now. And I'm not making the money I did back in the day, but I'm having more fun, I think, than I ever have.
This is an audio program, so everybody can't really see it, but I can tell you that we're surrounded by Marshall and Hartkey and Elisa's gear.
And Star Wars.
A little bit of that, yes.
The reason why I'm still doing this is because I believe in this band and its mission. The lyrics that I've written for these songs and have been a reflection of my faith. I have a responsibility as a Christian, and God's given me this talent, and I'm just giving it back to the Lord.
Well, I tell you what, I appreciate you guys and in every way, and I appreciate y'all coming out, especially and taking time out of your day and enjoying your company and listening to some songs and hanging out, and got to hear a new song from OBLIVION MYTH, so I really appreciate it.
World debut today.
How about that? So from K-Bar and myself, I'm Kyle with Breaking Metal,
Awesome.
and our friends at Oblivion Myth.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great rest of the day, and check back with us next week, and we'll have some fun with the Barbie conspiracy next week.
Awesome.
Great.
All right. Well, have fun, and y'all take care.
Thank
Don't
you.
forget to get us a copy of that record when it comes out.
Oh, you'll be one of the first.
All right.